This episode of the Mad Rush podcast.
No matter where you are, no matter what chapter you go to, you need to find a community outside of your sorority. For you, that might be intramural soccer team or the dance team or whatever it might be. But I think it's really important to join something on campus that's outside of your sorority. Just diversifying your friend groups. Since graduating, these are some of my best friends.
Welcome to the Mad Rush podcast. I'm Trisha Addicks, the original Sorority Rush consultant. While the stories I have to share are nothing short of astonishing, this podcast goes beyond the wild client tales and sorority life. I'll be engaging with fascinating guests from both within and outside the Greek world, uncovering the surprising connections that bind us all together. Join me for a journey that's as entertaining as it is enlightening. Welcome to Mad Rush. Y'all, I am so excited. My book, The Rush Bible, is available for pre-order from Simon & Schuster. It's coming out next May, but you can order it now, and it's going to be great for anyone who's considering going through Sorority Rush. This is the book for you. You can order it today. The link is in the show notes, and it's also on my Instagram at Rush with Confidence. And I can't wait to get this great information on how to crush Sorority Rush out to all of you. Anyway, thank you for listening, and I appreciate you. Okay, you guys are in for a treat. I am so excited about today's guest. I'm trying to convince her to become a mentor with my team, which I think it's working. But I have known Kate Gillett since she was born. Were you born in Atlanta?
I was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I roomed with Kate's aunt at Georgia my sophomore year and the summer between my freshman and sophomore year. Her parents are friends of ours. Her brothers played baseball with my boys. And so, yeah. I have known her for a very long time, but I am excited that you guys get to hear from her. She's amazing, and she has a very unique story. It's very timely, and I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here, Kate.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, okay, so let's just start. We'll say the school. Kate went to Ole Miss. She recently graduated, and I would like to first talk about your recruitment experience before the end. Like, let's keep it a little, suspenseful.
So I went through recruitment at Ole Miss in 2021. I loved recruitment. I loved the energy of it. I had a great experience. I loved going in all the houses and meeting all of the girls, having conversations with them. Overall, I had a great recruitment experience. I was very well connected in lots of chapters. I had recs for every chapter. And going through recruitment, I had the maximum number of houses every round. So I was very excited. I loved meeting people.
Which is, y'all, very rare. And not a reflection on you if you don't, but it's a big win, and it's a reflection on Kate for sure.
Yeah, so I had a house that I went to every single round that always stuck in the back of my head. I really felt like it was home when I went there on pref. I loved each of the girls that I talked to there. I was talking to the recruitment team. I was talking to their presidents. I really felt that they wanted me just as much as I wanted them. So then my other house I had on preference round was a house that wasn't my favorite. I didn't really feel like I was making very many connections there, and ranked lower each round.
So let's just be clear on this. So during Rush, y'all, and I feel like if you're listening to this podcast, you probably know this, but I do sometimes get surprised and I assume. So let me explain this. So Rush at many schools, and at Ole Miss in particular, you have different rounds. So you have first round, second round, third round pref. And so you go to the houses, or if it's virtual, it was virtual for you that year, right?
We were all in person.
All rounds were in person?
Yes.
Not including the video, the first one. So that
not
hadn't
Greek
happened.
Day, But we were
Okay.
we were in person for Greek Day all together, like in the auditorium.
Okay. So after each round, whether it's virtual or if you're watching videos, you rank the number of houses. So let's say, I can't even think right now, but Ole Miss has 11 sororities. If you can go back to 7 the next round, you rank all the houses in order of preference after number 1. So there's a whole chapter in my book about this. This is very confusing. But so what she did is she wrote down her top 7 and put ones by all of those. This is after the first round. And then her 8, 9, 10, 11, she put in order. And that's what Kate did to rank after the round. And the same thing is happening on the sorority side. They are ranking based on either the video that the P&M, which is what Kate was, they're ranking either based on that video or their in-person interaction, and or her resume, her materials that she submitted, and the connections that she had. And she did have a lot. So this happens after every round. You rank houses. If, for instance, her top 7, maybe let's say 6, invite her back, then one of her lower ones will move up if she had a full schedule, if that makes sense. So I know this is hard to understand, but basically the takeaway is you rank after each round, not after each party or each day, but if round 2 is 2 days, you rank after the second day after the last party. So what Kate is saying, and she was very clear, but I'm just making sure for those in the back of the room that she ranked this one house top every time. She felt very comfortable there, very welcomed. And then she consistently ranked the other house that she went to pref round low. Correct? Is
Correct.
that correct?
Yes.
Correct. So she had, and a lot of you out there are probably feeling something like what she went through. So let's go, and I'll tell you about my day with your mom that day too. But let's continue. So you prefed your top choice and one of your bottom choices.
Yes.
Which means she went to, at the end, she ranked in order this time. She ranked her top choice number 1, her bottom choice number 2. Okay, so then what happened?
So right after pref, I really felt like I had found my home at my top choice. And I felt at home there. I was comfortable. And I thought that on bid day, I was going to open my bid card and I was going to run home to that house.
I mean, you were sure you were going to.
I was pretty confident. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it turns out on my bid day that I received a bid to my second house.
And y'all, this is not back when, it's only been 4 years, but when they were in the Grove, the hype, when I tell you the screaming, I just recorded, if y'all want to look at my Instagram, bid day at Ole Miss, it is a thing. Okay. And so people are screaming, so happy. All right, continue. Sorry, I have to interrupt you because I got to set the stage.
Yes.
So you're sitting in the Grove and you have the envelope, and then let's walk us through exactly what happened.
So 2 other girls in my recruitment group had also prefed this house that I had prefed number 1. So we all sat together to open our bids because all of us are thinking that we're all going to open up our bids to the same house and run home together. And I opened my bid and I got my second choice house. And my first feeling was shock because I didn't understand what was happening. I thought this must be a mistake. I thought I was confused, but immediately I was hurt because I didn't know what was happening.
And I'm going to interject here. So and we're going to talk about what happened when you ran home and all that stuff. We're going to get into that. I was on a boat which was probably pretty stupid for Ole Miss bid day, but I get a call from Kate's mother, and she was so upset for you. She wasn't upset because of, the house you got or anything like that. She's a great mom, but she was like, what just happened? So, okay. What did you do? You opened your envelope. Did your two friends that you were sitting with, did they get their first, did they get the other house?
They did.
So of the three of you that you're sitting there, what did they say to you?
I think I kind of pull myself out of the situation pretty quickly and step away because I open up my envelope and like my face goes blank. I have no idea what's happening around me. So I remove myself. I kind of walk to my recruitment counselor and I'm like, I don't get it. And yeah, I was really hurt. I was really sad. Called my parents and I was like, I didn't get it. And what my mom said to me was, go find your tree. You know, in the grove at Ole Miss, you go and you find your tree with the girls and your letters. So I went over, walked to my tree. At this point, I was holding it together and...
Which is a very big feat. That's amazing. Says a lot about you.
So the first great thing about this, though, now realizing there was a girl on my floor in my dorm that was also going to this house. And so once I saw her, it made me running home from the grove a little easier, knowing that I had someone to run with.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I bet, and I hear a lot of this from people who reach out to me on Instagram or wherever, and they're like, I just thought there was a mistake, that it needed to be fixed. Like, I know you felt like that, right?
Yes.
So you thought, when you were running home, I bet you thought, well, I'm going to fix this and I'm going to be in this other house. Did you feel like that? Because that's what I'm getting. I get messages that say to people like, can we find out what happened, kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe a little, but my recruitment counselor was like, it's not a mistake. And so it was really hard. There was nothing easy about it. It took a lot of courage and it took a lot of strength to run home. Because I thought I was going to be running towards the opposite side of campus. That's what I had in my mind. And so it was a lot. I was sad. I was hurt. I was confused. So.
And what happened when you got to your house?
So I met my bid day buddy. And I kind of stuck around the girl that also lived on my floor in my dorm.
Was she happy? Was that her first choice?
She only had that house on pref. So it wouldn't have been her first choice, but she, like in her case, she knew she was running home there.
Right. Okay.
I still had two options on pref, so I didn't know where I was going.
Right. And that's an important point too, and one that y'all probably know listening, and thank you for listening. But if you have two options left and you rank both of them, you're guaranteed a bid, but you're not guaranteed a bid from your top choice. And if you only had one house left and you write that down, you are guaranteed a bid from that house. So Kate was thinking that she was getting her first choice based on the information that she was given during Rush. So you got to the house. Did you met your bid day buddy? Did you like your bid day buddy immediately, or were you just still in shock?
I was still in shock for sure. Also, my bid day buddy was someone I hadn't met before. So it's not like a girl that recruited me that I had met. It was someone totally random. So that was an added layer of difficulty that I wasn't prepared for as well.
Yeah, so explain so your bid day buddy is supposed to be who?
Typically, it's someone you've talked to during recruitment in the house. Maybe the girl who prefed you. Yeah,
so she's shocked, she's confused, and she's standing there with a stranger who she's supposed to run and scream and hug her like they're long lost sisters. Right. And that is, I mean, that's what it's like. The entire town of Oxford is electric. And I always tell people who reach out to me who have dropped out of Rush or been released from Rush, I'm like, get out of town, go to Tupelo, do something, because you cannot be in that town and witness that. So what Kate did is really, really, really impressive. And that's why I wanted her to be on this podcast. That's why I want her to be a mentor, because she really turned it around. So talk to me. All right. So bid day, did you go out with your people, or did you go back to your dorm? What'd you do that night?
Yeah, so after we run home, we have a little gathering at the house, and then we all get bussed off to another venue to have a celebration.
And is that a venue with just your sorority?
Yes.
Okay.
So I did that. It was hard. The tears started flowing. I was sad.
Ugh.
And I'm sitting on this bus with girls I don't really know.
And so are you crying on the bus?
Yes.
Okay, continue.
So actually, funny part of this story, there was a girl in my recruitment group who also ran home to the same house. And we weren't really friends during recruitment. And then I saw her at the tree. We didn't run home together. Turns out that on the bus back from the venue, back to campus, we sat on the bus next to each other. And she was so kind to me. And I was probably not, I know I wasn't in the best mood. I know I wasn't being very kind. And she is now one of my best friends.
Oh, I love that.
So we have a full circle moment there. But anyways, I go to the party. It's hard. I have to be strong. I have to suck it up. So I knew that I wanted to be in a sorority. So if I wanted to be in a sorority, then it took me to realize that this was my chance. You know, it's not the house I thought I was going to get. It's not the house that I was planning on running home to. But this is what life was given to me. And if I knew I wanted to be in a sorority, then I was going to have to make this work. And it was going to be up to me if I was going to make the most of it or not. And it was up to me if I was going to show up and put in the work and meet friends. And 4 years later, I learned to love my sorority.
That is awesome. So what did you do? And I want you to give some advice to people, because I know, well, first off, not just at Ole Miss, but at every school, the people going through Rush, the numbers are insane, y'all. They're insane right now. So if you can't find your people in a pledge class of 250 or 100 or 95, it doesn't matter. You need to look inside a little bit. And I know that the disappointment is there. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be disappointed and feel the feelings, but then realize that this is your option. And you really should do what Kate did and decide, okay, I want to be in a sorority. I mean, you're going to find your people. So there are no sororities where everybody is terrible or whatever, so I would like for you to give some advice on what people should do in that situation.
So I knew I wanted to be in a sorority, and I got involved pretty quickly. I always was at the house. I was eating my meals at the house. I was doing my homework at the house, because at the end of the day, that's how you're going to meet your friends. So I got involved quickly. I knew that I wanted to be on the new member team. So my freshman year, I was on banner team. I was in the chapter Bible study group. I was helping as a new member experience coordinator. I was really throwing myself into different aspects of the chapter to meet more people. So following freshman year, fall of my sophomore year, I was new member experience coordinator. So I was helping the new member educator. I then ran for that position and was elected. So I
literally have chills right now. I'm not kidding. I know this story and I have chills.
Yeah.
Talk about taking lemons and making it into lemonade. Wow.
So fall of my junior year, I was new member experience coordinator. And for my chapter, that consists of being bid day chair and new member educator and all of the new member programming. I loved that position. I loved planning bid day, but also I loved being the person that I didn't have when I went through recruitment and ran home and was devastated and confused. And see, I was able to relate to these girls that were running home to my chapter, which at this point I had grown to love, right? And I was bringing them under my wing and saying, I know this is not what you thought you were going to get, and I know this is not what you expected. But come here, and we're going to figure it out, and we're going to help you find your sisters, and we're going to make friends, and we're going to do it together. So that's really my why into being the new member experience, director of new member experience. And then I had experience being on recruitment teams. So the following year, I applied to be a recruitment counselor. So I then worked for Panhellenic and served as a recruitment counselor. And I had a group of 12 girls. They didn't know what chapter I was in. But same principle, I wanted to be there for those girls going through recruitment and help them and guide them and be a friend to them.
So that's such a cool correlation for why I have my business. You know that I did not get in a sorority my freshman year and went back through Rush and got my first choice, but it really stuck with me, those feelings. And that's why I'm so empathetic. That's why I work so hard for our clients and why I wrote the book, because I want everybody to be able to pivot, or, I want people to be able to find their place. And that is so important. And that's what you did as well. You really took your experience that was really hard for you and made it real. I'm sure you were a stellar recruitment counselor and a stellar new member and bid day coordinator. That's really admirable. And I think that empathy, that's why I want her as a mentor, y'all. But I think it's so valuable during that time. And so that's very cool that you did that. So I have some ideas of what you can do, but I really want to hear, since she's here, what is your advice for people who are experiencing that?
Yeah. So a few things that I think are important post recruitment. I think that no matter where you are, no matter what chapter you go to, you need to find a community outside of your sorority. For me, that was a campus ministry. I joined my first week of freshman year, and since graduating, I had been in the same Bible study with girls for 4 years, and those are some of my best friends. So like I said, for me, that was campus ministry. For you, that might be intramural soccer team or the dance team or whatever it might be. But I think it's really important to join something on campus that's outside of your sorority.
And one thing I'd like to add to that, I think it's good to have something where your acceptance is automatic, meaning a campus ministry, they're not going to turn you away. I think that something that you don't have to apply. I mean, maybe you have to apply, but they accept everybody or whatever. I think that's a really key thing, because you just have been through something where acceptance is not automatic. So I think that's an important part. So, and that's cool that you immediately started spreading your wings.
And it was good to have that support system as well outside of your chapter, and just diversifying your friend groups. And so then I kind of have 5 things that I wrote down that, most of these bid days have passed, but if you are a girl who is opening your bid on bid day and it's not what you expected, I have, 5 tips, 5 steps that I'd love to share with you on how to go through that.
Y'all, we're so lucky to have her.
You're sweet. So first things first, run home. This is probably going to be your hardest step. It's going to be the one that's going to take the most courage, but it is the first step you need to take into really understanding what's happened to you and how to make the most of it. So run home, meet one friend when you're running home, find a girl waiting at the tree with you, and run home together. That's it. That's all you got to do. Be present on bid day. Meet your sisters. Meet your bid day buddy and her friends. But first of all, run home. When I was on recruitment team and working as new member coordinator and director of new member experience, I, both years, had a girl that I had recruited. They were, quote unquote, my Rush crush. And I was so excited for them. And I was standing at the top of the hill waiting for them with their sign, and they didn't run home.
Oh, wow.
I know that it's hard because I've been there, but also I was at the house waiting for them, and I was so excited to welcome them into my sisterhood. And I was so excited to share this with them. And it wasn't what they expected. They also thought they were getting another house, and they didn't run home. So it's always what could have been. Not running home is the first, time you're giving into it. That's step number 1, okay?
That's a good one.
Step number 2, meet one girl in your dorm in the same chapter that you are. I know at Ole Miss, we put our chapters up on our dorm doors. You'll get like a door hanger sign. Knock on the door of someone.
That's a lot of schools.
Knock on the door of someone in the same chapter as you. This is going to hold you accountable to go to the house for new member meetings. It's going to give you a buddy to walk with. It's going to be someone you can eat lunch with. So go ahead and meet one girl, at least one girl in your dorm is the same chapter as you.
Great advice.
The The third point I have is go to the house. Eat at the house. Do your homework at the house. Do not skip your new member meetings. This is going to be how you meet your friends. And back to my experience as new member educator, I would have girls coming to me saying that they wanted to drop and that they had no friends in the chapter. And I would be able to see that they've skipped new member meetings. They haven't come to eat at the house. They weren't participating in any of the Casa Encore or the Bible studies or whatever it is. So it's hard for me to help them when they aren't ready to put in the work themselves.
And that goes for any sorority. So let's say you did get your first choice. You still have to show up and put in the work after Rush, regardless of whether you're disappointed or not. Even if you aren't disappointed, you're still not going to, it's not add water, instant friends. You're still not going to find your people and make friends if you don't show up. So that's great advice. Yes.
The fourth thing I have is get involved inside of your chapter within the first few weeks. At Ole Miss, we do Casa Encore in the fall. It's a great way for new members to make friends. I know at other colleges they call it other things, but it's kind of the same.
Explain what a Casa Encore is.
It is the dance competition in between sororities. So for us,
which is super fun to watch,
yes.
Just so you know.
So for us, typically all of our new members participate in it. It's a great way to make friends, whether that be joining banner team, helping to paint banners, doing the intramural sports, going to the Bible study. Get involved with inside your chapter to meet people. And then the last thing I have, point number 5, is to keep an open mind. I know we talk about during recruitment to keep an open mind, but if you're in a situation that I was in and you ran home and you were confused and you went to a house that you did not think you were going to run home to, it's important to still keep an open mind. Like Miss Trisha said, we are getting pledge classes of girls from 180 to 300 new members at once. And I'm confident that if you've gone through recruitment, that in a pledge class of 300 girls that you can meet a friend and you can talk to someone and find your lifelong group of sisters and best friends like I have.
That's amazing. And you had 2 other points that I skipped over because I was asking for her advice, which were 1, talk about making irrational decisions on bid day, and then the one after that.
So you go through bid day or recruitment in August. It's hot, you're outside, you're exhausted, you're probably stressed out, not getting enough sleep, not eating enough, not drinking enough water. So don't make any harsh, irrational decisions on bid day to drop or not run home or whatever it is, because you're probably not in the right mental state to make those decisions. Give it a few weeks, try it out, and see if it works for you.
So I lived it just for a day and a half in Oxford. And when I tell you, I could not have made a rational decision Saturday afternoon to save my life. I was hot, dehydrated, exhausted, overwhelmed. I don't love crowds. So I wanted to be there for our clients, and I wanted to be there to give, my followers and listeners a glimpse into this really cool experience. But it's a lot. It's a lot. Bid day is a lot, not just at Ole Miss. It's a lot everywhere. So she's very, very giving great advice there. Don't make irrational decisions on the day when you're hot, dehydrated, exhausted, overwhelmed, whatever. And then I think your next point is so important, and I'm going to reiterate it after you say it.
What I have is do not drop in the first month that you are in your new chapter. Meeting friends, finding friends doesn't happen quickly. You have to put in the work, and give yourself a month to join some groups in your chapter, to be eating meals at the house. And after a month and you are in a pledge class of 260 women like I was, then you're going to find your people. You just have to take time.
Yes. And that is, I will say from my experience, I get a lot of DMs and messages and emails after Rush. And in my experience, 100% of the people that really put in the effort for that month, and it can also be 6 weeks before you're initiated. So what happens is if you drop before you're initiated, you can go through Rush the next year. But you owe it to yourself to give yourself that month or 6 weeks And if you really put in the effort, like an honest effort, I have not had anyone come to me and say, okay, I'm dropping, because they have found their people, because they put in the effort, and they knew they were worth it. And I actually got a message just this past week from a woman whose daughter I talked to. It was a different school. I talked to her, and the mom called me, and she's like, she's devastated. She wants to drop. And I convinced her to give it that time, which is what Kate is also saying. The message I got, that was last year. The message I got from the mother was she is in love with her sorority, and she's doing like Kate did. She got involved, and now I think she's new member educator as well, but I could be wrong about that. But she does have an executive position. And the mom was like, I am so glad she listened to you, because this has been a game changer for her. And she heard from some friends who were very unhappy in that one that she wanted. And the reasons why they were unhappy really resonated with her. And she's like, I would have been unhappy there too. So I'm not saying you're saying that, but she definitely was saying that. So that's phenomenal advice. And again, 100% of the people who have put in the work for those 6 weeks that I've talked to, 100% of them initiated in their sorority and went on to have great experiences. So that is important. And you owe yourself a month or 6 weeks. I mean, come on. You put in the work, keep putting it in for a month to make your college experience and beyond. I'm sure you still keep in touch with those girls. I still keep in touch with my pledge sisters.
Yes.
So yes. Okay. Couple other points, and then I'm going to make sure that you don't have any more points that you want to make. Okay. So if you're a parent listening, remind your daughter her worth is not what house she's in. It's what she does. I mean, Kate's bravery, her courage, I guess those are the same thing, and her open-mindedness show what her worth is. And it is not what house she was in. And something else that really stuck out to me that you were talking about when you were waiting for these girls that didn't show up. I mean, y'all, there's something to be said for going where you're wanted. And like, you were so excited to welcome them. And that's a great feeling. That is a great feeling, to be able to run home and hug someone who wants you to be there. So that is something to remember too. If you don't get something that you thought you were going to, go where you're wanted. So do you have any last minute observations, hashtag OOTDs, observation of the day?
I will say that if you are a mom listening to this, really do try to encourage your daughters to follow these steps and put in the effort. I know it can be hard, because I know my mom's been there too, of just wanting to drive down to Oxford and scoop them up and bring them home with you. But encourage your daughter to put herself out there. Like Trisha said, if a house has invited them back each round, they're wanted. They see something in your daughter or in myself that, fits in their chapter. They can see you being a valuable member of their sisterhood. So moms, encourage your daughters to run home, find their sisters, put in the work, because it really is, you get out all that you put into it. And I feel really blessed that, I was given a sour lemon on bid day 4 years ago, but I am so thankful that the chapter that I did end up at chose me. I say that I didn't necessarily choose them, but they did choose me. And I had 4 years of great memories and experiences and sisterhood and laughs. And it ultimately gave me my best friends. So you'll find your place wherever you are. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I would also like to say your mom, while she was reeling, was the fact that she told you to go stand under that tree when I was talking to her, and I did not think that that's what she would have said. So that's your job, parents, to take Kate's advice, to support your daughter and tell your daughter to show up. And you are the positive. You are the positive. I have some pretty harrowing stories from this rush this past couple weeks and of parenting that is a little shocking. So I'm not saying you listeners are doing that because you're listening, but I'm telling you, being supportive and positive for your daughter is the only thing you should be doing right now, and encouraging them to get involved. So Kate, oh my gosh, I have tears in my eyes. Thank you so much for sharing this with the timing, and it's not just Ole Miss. There are a lot of people out there at different schools listening that needed to hear that. And I'm so grateful that you were here. I really am. And I appreciate you sharing that and your time with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so because I surround myself with rock stars and because I'm leaning into rush prep for these episodes, I'm not going to do time out with Trisha because that is rush prep. So anyway, the whole episode was rush prep. So thank you for listening. In the meantime, check out my Instagram at Rush with Confidence for more tips. We're leaning into the preparing because it's almost go time. See you next week. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Mad Rush Podcast. If you are enjoying this podcast, please consider leaving us a 5-star review. For additional Rush tips, updates, and more, please follow me on Instagram at Rush with Confidence. If you would like to reach out to us or for more information, please email info@madrushpod.com. This podcast is produced by Collier Landry and Don't Touch My Radio. Copyright Trisha Addicks.